Hey party people, and welcome back to MVM, and today I'm here with holiday gift guide. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 to 7 titles here that you can work with. You got to get in those honorable mentions, top 5 list, got to get a couple extra in there, but I'm going to give you some for 2022 and I'm going to make it quick. So I'm going to start with some suggestions that are honorable mentions. One is just a group of titles. I'm talking about small titles from Button Shy Games. Yes, there's literally a full game in here, 18 cards or so. All these games are really small, but don't get it twisted. They have really nice complex little puzzles in there to kind of keep you going. And some of these can be played with multiple players. Tussy Mussy is one of those. You have Rove here as well. You have Sprawlopolis, which is actually cooperative, can be played solo, and it's really, really good. So you have a whole bunch of these to take a look at, but take a look at this one here, Rove, Skulls of Soul deck. You're going to have Sprawlopolis, Agropolis, and Spaceship. So you have several different ones to look at that are on that site. You're talking about 3 or 4 of those for $50, $60. Maybe we can look at one of these Thanksgiving sales and get something for less. My next suggestion, honorable mention, is got to be the Magnificent. Now, if you know it's in my top 50, I love this game, this dice placement, polyomino type game. This is going to be right up most people's alley, even if you don't like Beat Your Score, because it's got smart decisions. It's got a magic, it's got sort of a magician theme that's kind of pasted on, but it's basically grabbing dice, triggering off cards. Those cards will give you ability to get certain tiles. Those tiles will go in kind of a Tetris type situation. If you played Santa Monica, you would know about it, but ultimately you're trying to make performances as you go across the board in a short amount of time. It's a really smart game. Here's the deal though, you can catch this sometimes for $20 or less because it's always on sale right now. I don't know what happens. There's stocks across the world where they need to get rid of it, but it's a really great game. Aporta Games makes very good games. Definitely check that one out. Now I'm going to keep you in the $30, $40 range, then we'll go big at the end. Next one, the first one is Cascadia. Cascadia is one of the, it's almost perfect, okay? So it's perfect for multiplayer, nice cup of coffee game, but specifically for solo play, it's real chill, real relaxing. Now what you're doing is you're taking cards from a row, you're taking tiles in a piece from the row, and then you're basically making your own little landscape areas, trying to get the most areas together, and also trying to fulfill different animals' conditions in the game. It's real slick, plays in about 30 minutes or so, nice, awesome game, and it also is kind of a really big sell if you like solo games, but you also want the value of playing multiplayer. Of course, if you're a solo player, that's a kind of a thing, right? You want to have a little bit in between. Next one is Imperium Classics. So you have Imperium Classics and you have Imperium Legends. Now this would be for the heavier gamer. This is a heavy card game, very, very heavy card game, made by the famous designer David Turczi and co-designer Nick Buckle. These are 2 very good designers. When they come together, they make greatness. And this one here, you're taking cards, you're going to have different clans. There are 8 of them. And you're going to be playing against the AI. You can play against each deck, by the way. So you have 8 different decks you can play through, so replayability and also mastering these decks. You're going to be trying to go through time and upgrade your cards and get specific cards to build your tableau. But ultimately, you're trying to go through time so you can basically get to the heart of what they want to do and score extra points. And there are thematically so many different themes to that game. There's so many different thematic decks to that game and what their actual goals are, because some of them want unrest, some of them never want to evolve and move through time. So this is definitely one of those games I highly recommend. Next one, big one. So if someone does like the D&D type style, but they don't want this gigantic board, like maybe Massive Darkness, big presentation, they don't want that, we'll definitely go with Jaws of the Lion, Gloom Haven Jaws of the Lion. You can find this game for about $34.99, which is like great. I just looked it up somewhere on Target, I believe. You can find this game, Black Friday sales, even sales leading up to the holiday, you can probably find about that $30 to $35. That's where you want to be. And this game is basically a card game and also sort of a puzzle game where you're dungeon crawling and you're playing cards for the top and the bottom, moving your people around, leveling them up, trying to figure out how to navigate this dungeon and take out enemies. It's very, very easy to get into, but it's very complicated on how you use your cards. So it's nice and interesting. It's going to be nice and medium difficulty. This is the smaller baby to Gloom Haven. So if you want to go upgrade and get the big deal, you can get the Gloom Haven box. That's going to be between 70 to 120 bucks. But I'm not here to push that on you. I want to keep it low for right now. My next one is going to be Warp's Edge. Now, Warp's Edge is in that heart of the $30. Once again, you're going to have a game where you're going to be playing your little tokens from a bag, and you're going to be trying to take out a row, sort of like Space Invaders type row of enemies, and you have to get through that whole deck and fight them all the way through it to get to the final boss. And then the final boss is like a ship with different components, different departments, and then some of the chips, one of the ships transforms into a robot. It's really slick. Now, here's the deal. It came out a couple years ago. Definitely can find that on sale in that $30, $40 range, which is awesome, probably less. And it even has an expansion, so maybe you want to throw that in there as well. But my big one, if you really want to be ballerific and you want to hook this person up, this is how you hook them up. You go with Hopla Victorum. Now, this game is going to be there right around the holiday in small quantities, so I'm not necessarily 100% sure you'll be able to get it, but you definitely want to pick this one up. You are going on a big adventure with one character. This game is only made for one character. You're going to be taking you and your party, going around and defeating champions and ultimately a big boss. There is no holding back on component quality. There is no holding back on what this game is trying to do for just one player. Chip Theory Games does great things. If you want to take a look at some of their other games that have Too Many Bones, which is excellent on my highest tier of board games, this one here is definitely going to be in the high tier of my board game list moving forward. You definitely want to check this one out, but you need to make sure that you're able to spend over $100 on games, because this one ranges in, I believe, the $130 to $150 range. Think about that, because maybe you want to bling it out for that special someone, or you're just blinging it out for yourself. Honestly, just like, hey, I want to treat myself. It's the holidays. So hopefully those are good enough suggestions for you to make some of your holiday purchases. Hopefully I informed you of some good titles, maybe some you never heard of before. And if you need some more suggestions, let me know in the comments below and I'll help you out as best as possible. But for now, thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.